Hello, everybody.
Hey,
I'm
guys.
Megan,
I'm Laura.
and we are the co-creators of The Sweetness, the content that fuels
The
the candy
candy shop.
shop.
That was not planned and also kind of awesome in our world.
Synchronized,
Mhm.
yes. So we want to share a little bit about us so you can start to get to know us. And we met in dance class.
In hip hop dance class. Let's be clear.
Middle-aged, rocking it, but middle-aged women dancing in hip hop cardio class for over a year before Laura made a comment about applied neuroscience. My head turned at about 100 miles an hour, and we've been co-creating and co-inspiring and becoming besties ever since, really.
Absolutely. So both of us have been working for our whole careers over combined. We have over 30 years experience in personal growth work, in, like we said, applied neuroscience, the healing arts in general. And we've been doing our own thing for many years, but we have found that when we come together and we bring the things that we know and we do them well, and we bring them together with this concept of the candy shop, which we're going to introduce to you in just a minute, that we have the potential to make really big changes in little small bites.
And basically, we are nerds for growth. And if there's a class, we've probably taken it. If there's a book, we've likely read it. And we're in a place in our careers where we're really excited to share what we've gathered with as many people as possible. So that's part of the foundation. And we believe in doing it in a fun way, in a quirky way, in a real way. So no yoga voice here.
Nothing against yoga voices. It's just that that's not always how personal growth really happens for us. It's much more normal and quirky and human than that. Yeah. So
yeah,
you probably have already gotten some emails from us from the candy shop. You're probably beginning to get a sense of what we're about and what we're here to do. But do you want to take a second and just explain the candy shop?
Yeah, the candy shop is our approach to personal growth in a way that is accessible and honest and has a foundation of pleasure and delight that fuels forward movement and progress. I know I've been overwhelmed more times than I can count on my own personal growth journey, and have been in it enough to realize that small bites, and really just there are small bites that are wildly transformational. And when I'm not overwhelmed, I can do the things.
Yeah.
So
yeah. And the idea here too, if in case you haven't kind of gotten this message yet, it's that we often get put in coaching and personal growth that is pushing us forward in some kind of way. It's overriding mindset. It's mental based, right? It tends to be very mental or even sometimes emotional, but mostly mental. And so the candy shop was really about remembering that we want to have a balance in our lives between our career and our families, and the gentle balance and the harmony created when we also rest, when we also honor what our bodies need, and when we find joy in being together, when we can find those little moments. So not enough people get that message. That's what we found, especially as women. Even when people are pushing us in mindset, they push us to kind of try harder instead of
do more,
listen more and relax more. So as we go through some videos that we're going to be sending to you, we're going to kind of talk about and give you some examples of what we mean, so that by the time you have watched these 3 videos, there's 3 videos in this series, you'll have a sense of what we mean when we say those things and how you can start to embody those changes.
And we figured what better time than as we're moving into a new year, because this is when we get a lot of messages about how we should be changing. And we have some different thoughts on that, as we do with most things.
Right. So let's just start with the idea that going into New Year's, we get a lot of messaging around our bodies specifically, especially as women. We start to get the message that we've eaten too much over the holidays.
It's so bad.
It's so bad. I've been so bad. And I've been indulgent. I've in excess in some kind of way. And now I need to pay the price. So there's a lot of messaging that comes that says, use this energy of New Year's to lose the weight, to get a better body, to get the body you've always wanted, to to make amends for what you should be ashamed of.
Yeah. And here at the candy shop, part of what is fundamental to women thriving across the map in their lives is cultivating an honoring relationship with the body, not one of constriction and restriction and conformity. So we have some strong feelings about New Year's, and we'll be inviting you to choose the relationship you want with your body, with the preciousness of your energy and what you want to put that towards, because there's also a really strong messaging around productivity culture and how to hack your life, how to do more in less time, drink more coffee to fuel doing all that stuff you actually don't want to do or don't have the energy for. And so it's kind of radical. We're not taught this message, but we've walked the path and fought it. But when we truly honor our energy, our bodies, our desires, our interests, that is when we thrive.
Yeah.
Yet, especially around New Year's, we're taught, do what they say you should do and you'll be happy.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a lie.
It's absolutely a lie. And so one of the things that we believe in deeply is the idea of rhythms and cycles in our bodies, in our lives, and yearly, for example, the year goes through a cycle, and you can feel that as we come to the end of a year. There's this sense of the ending. There's a rush often to push through and finish strong and things like that. But also there's this internal pull. If we listen, especially as women, if we listen internally, we feel a pull to slow down, to connect to our family and our friends, to rest more. That's kind of what happens at the end of the year. Part of the winter experience, at least here where we are in the Northern Hemisphere, is about slowing down and getting rest. We need to be rejuvenated, and we don't honor rest in this culture, especially in this caffeine culture, as Megan was just saying. We tend to be like, no, push through. Pushing through will get you where you're trying to go, instead of resting our way to success.
Yeah. And I want to say, if you're listening to that and going, cycles might be cool for other people, but they're not for me, I want to remind you that you are a human, you are part of nature, and you are here because you identify as a female human, which means you know about cycles. So I want to just say, like, if you think it doesn't apply to you, your body says otherwise.
Yeah.
And you've been navigating cycles since, adolescence.
Yeah.
So we are designed as women to be in ebbs and flows and releases and receivership. And so it is our truth. Like, our body knows that it's our truth, even if culture teaches us linear living. So we're going to remind you as much as we can to come home to who you are, so that you can honor that more than what is out there. Because quite frankly, men don't have the same cycles, and a lot of the expectations are based in that lived experience, which may not be actually accurate for you.
Right. And so we also want to do that in a really playful way.
Yeah.
So the thing that we forget, especially in our very busy lives, and we know you live busy lives because we live busy lives.
And that's why you're here.
That's why you're here, right? Like, you're looking for a way to find a little more ease and joy in there, right? So we wanted to bring you a playful way to go into New Year's, to use this time. And so we decided to bring you a game. Games are not Megan's favorite.
I hate a board game. And it took me into my 30s before I learned to play. I was that kid. Like, I did things intentionally. But so in my 30s and 40s, I have reclaimed the art of play, which is part of the authentic feminine essence, creativity and playfulness and pleasure. So instead of sitting here and telling you, well, look out for this messaging is wrong or bad, which you can find that on the internet, we wanted you to go on a sort of scavenger hunt to see what your life shows you. And so I love creating pretty things. So I made a bingo board that's pretty and colorful. And we encourage you to print it out, actually print it out, put it in your not book bag, your lovely satchel that you maybe carry with you to work, or put it on your
Or
desk.
your purse,
or
is
your purse.
another word for satchel.
Well, I'm picturing a computer bag.
Yes, okay.
and print it off. And when you are on, like, opening your email, when you are scrolling on social media, when you are sitting at lunch with friends over this time approaching the new year, X out when you see these things happen, right? Like when you are marketed a certain thing, when you hear a friend make a comment about being bad over the holidays and indulging too much, mark it and then notice how easy or hard it is to win at the game you're playing.
Yep, absolutely.
And then next week, we're going to invite you to do some stuff with what you've realized in your life and what messages you're receiving, so that then you can choose. Because what we believe is we are all bombarded with messages of who we should be, what we should do, and we don't even realize it until we realize it. But when we do, then we have choice, and choice feels really delicious. And from there, we can create sweetness.
Absolutely. I couldn't have said it better myself.
So until next time.
Absolutely. Bye, y'all.